If you had to buy a Rolex today with your own money, these are the ones that still make real sense in 2025. And yeah, they're the cheapest too, but let's be clear, we're not talking budget Rolex like it's a downgrade. In this lineup, cheapest means the most accessible pieces that are still absolutely worth your time, whether they're brand new, sneaky good pre-owned, or vintage sleepers with serious upside. And wait for number 6. It's the one that even the collectors are sleeping on. So let's start with number 1, the Oyster Perpetual 41, reference number 134300. The updated Oyster Perpetual 41 quietly replaced the 124300 in 2024. But don't mistake quiet for boring. This isn't a radical redesign, but Rolex made all the right subtle moves. A sleeker case, a thinner clasp, a slightly larger crown. On the wrist, it wears sharper, more balanced, and just feels more refined. Functionally, this is still your go-anywhere, do-anything Rolex. It's powered by the caliber 3230 with a 70-hour power reserve, has a durable oyster steel case, and is water-resistant to 100 meters. The Chromolite loom pops at night, and the Easy Link extension lets you adjust fit on the fly. Super handy in real-world wear. Now for the interesting part. Rolex discontinued some of the most hyped dial colors from the 124300, like the Celebration Bubble and Bright Blue, so demand has already started shifting toward this newer model. Retail is set at $6,650, but depending on the dial, secondary prices are creeping past $8K. The pistachio dial in particular is gaining quite a bit of traction among collectors who want something under the radar but still distinct. This is the Oyster Perpetual growing up. Still minimalist, still reliable, but with just enough edge to justify buying new. If you want dial variety or short-term flip value, go chase the 124300. But if you're buying to wear and you want the freshest execution, well then the 134300 is a refined upgrade with a stealthy value climb. Number 2, the Datejust, reference number 16234. The Datejust 16234 is one of those rare Rolex references that hits multiple sweet spots at once. It's vintage, but it's not fragile. It's dressy, but it's not flashy. And it's built with just enough modern reliability to wear daily without stress. Produced from the late 80s through the early 2000s, this transitional model introduced sapphire crystal to the classic 36mm steel case, while keeping that unmistakable 18-karat white gold fluted bezel up top. A timeless combo that still feels right in 2025. Inside, it runs on the caliber 3135, the same movement that's used in the Submariner of that era. That means that you're getting quick set date, a 48-hour power reserve, and long-term serviceability from one of Rolex's most proven engines. Most come on the Jubilee bracelet, which wears like a glove, but some variants feature the more streamlined Oyster bracelet if you want a slightly sportier look. What really gives this reference depth, though, is the dial variety. From salmon to tapestry, from Roman numerals to diamond indices, each version feels like a different watch. And that's where collectors start paying attention. The version with the silver diamond dial, like this one, blends classic luxury with subtle wrist presence. No loom, just clean sparkle. The 16234 is a Datejust that you can actually use without treating it like a museum piece. It's versatile, it's comfortable, and it's quietly climbing in value as more collectors recognize it as a perfect middle ground between old school charm and modern performance. If you're looking for a Datejust with soul and substance, this is the one worth chasing. Number 3, the Rolex Explorer 1, reference number 124270. The Explorer 124270 is Rolex going back to its roots, in the best way possible. When this model launched in 2021, it marked the return of the original 36mm case size, a decision that sent vintage purists into a quiet frenzy. This wasn't a compromise. This was Rolex listening to decades of subtle cues. Smaller is smarter, especially for a tool watch with this kind of heritage. This reference stays true to the original 1953 Explorer style worn during the Everest era, now backed by the modern caliber 3230. Expect 70 hours of power reserve, anti-magnetic parachrome hairspring, and rock-solid accuracy. It's rugged, but never bulky. The dial is pure classic. black lacquer, luminous 369 markers, and baton indices glowing with chromalite. A subtle but welcome change? The Explorer text is back at 12 o'clock, restoring that OG dial balance that collectors have always loved. The Oyster bracelet tapers perfectly and includes the Easy Link extension, so it's genuinely comfortable all day. This isn't a showpiece Rolex. It's a lived-in, go-anywhere, always looks good kind of watch. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a daily wearer, or a collector chasing neo-vintage charm, the 124270 offers one of the cleanest value-to-heritage ratios in the game. Add in growing demand for 36mm proportions, and you've got a quiet climber with long-term appeal. Number 4, the Air King, reference number 126900. The Air King isn't your average Rolex. It's the brand letting loose a little, and collectors are finally starting to get the message. This 2022 revamp brought the Air King fully into the professional lineup, complete with crown guards, a wider bracelet, and a beefed-up 40mm case in tough oyster steel. It's more tool watch, less outlier now, and better for it. The dial still carries that polarizing charm. Oversized Arabic numerals, racing-style minute track, and now fully loomed 3, 6, and 9 markers with chromalite. Even the small details got smarter. Those minute numerals are now double-digit, giving the whole dial a more symmetrical cockpit feel. Yes, that inspiration is real. The design nods to instruments from the Bloodhound SSC supersonic car project, which Rolex helped sponsor. Under the hood, it runs the caliber 3230, Rolex's modern movement with a 70-hour power reserve, parachrome hairspring, and energy-efficient chronergy escapement. No date, no fuss, just precise, rugged timekeeping. This is the only current Rolex that breaks the so-called serious tool watch formula with a dial this quirky. And that's exactly why it's gaining momentum. If you want a piece with real heritage, daily usability, and just enough edge to stand out without being loud, the 126900 delivers. It's bold, fun, and built like a tank. Between the comfort upgrades and the newfound visual balance, it is finally the Air King that feels like it belongs in the cockpit and on your wrist. Number 5, the Submariner No Date, reference number 124060. If you had to own just one Rolex, the Submariner 124060 might be the most honest answer. No date, no Cyclops, no distractions. Just pure dive watch DNA, sharpened to near perfection. This 2020 release replaced the beloved 114060 and brought a slightly upsized 41mm case. But, thanks to slimmer lugs and a more balanced bracelet, it actually wears sleeker than before. What you're getting is the distilled essence of the Submariner line. A Cerachrome bezel that's virtually scratch-proof, a clean black dial with long-lasting chromalite lume, and 300 meters of water resistance backed by Rolex's triple-sealed trip-lock crown system. It's a tool watch first, but one that looks just as sharp under a cuff as it does over a wetsuit. Inside, the caliber 3230 brings real performance, 70-hour power reserve, anti-magnetic parachrome hairspring, and a chronergy escapement designed for energy efficiency and durability. It's certified to run within minus to plus 2 seconds per day, but in real life, you'll probably see even tighter accuracy. Collectors love the symmetry and heritage. This is the closest modern sub to the original 1953 icon. No frills, no feature bloat. Just a watch that does exactly what it was built to do, better than ever. If you want one Rolex that works anywhere, lasts forever, and quietly earns respect from everyone who knows what it is, this is the move. Nothing flashy, just flawless execution. Number 6, the GMT Master 2, reference number 126710BLRO. This is the GMT Master 2 that gets collectors whispering and ad wait lists groaning. The Pepsi. When Rolex brought back that iconic red and blue bezel in stainless steel back in 2018, it was game on. This wasn't just nostalgia. This was Rolex doubling down on one of its most legendary tool watches. The 40mm case is crafted from Rolex's corrosion-resistant oyster steel with a Jubilee bracelet that adds just the right touch of polish. That Cerachrome bezel insert, virtually scratch-proof, UV-proof, and baked in red and blue. A nod to the original GMTs made for Pan Am pilots in the 1950s. Functionally, it's a beast. Powered by the caliber 3285, it packs a 70-hour power reserve, anti-magnetic parachrome hairspring, and that all-important independent 24-hour hand. Translation, you can track up to 3 time zones at once: local, home, and a third via the rotating bezel. Collectors love it for its history, wearers love it for its practicality, and let's be honest, everyone loves it for its look. It's bold without being loud. And with secondary prices holding strong well above retail, it's also one of the few modern Rolex models with real upside. Own a Pepsi, and you're not just buying a watch, you're buying into one of the most iconic timekeeping legacies ever made. Want to compare it to the Batman? Trust me, that is a whole conversation. And finally, number 7, the Yachtmaster 37, reference number 268622. The Yachtmaster 37 is one of Rolex's most underrated flexes. At 37mm, it doesn't scream tool watch, it whispers refined utility. But make no mistake, this isn't just a downsized sub. This is a whole different vibe. Let's start with the metal, Rolecium. That's Rolex speak for a fusion of rugged oyster steel and luxurious solid platinum, used only on the Yachtmaster line. The bezel, pure 950 platinum with raised numerals. It catches light in a way where photos just don't do justice. Pair that with the slate dial and the ice blue seconds hand, and you've got a watch that quietly nods to Rolex's full platinum day date, without the sticker shock. Inside, it's powered by the caliber 2236, featuring a silicone Siloxy hairspring and a 55-hour power reserve. It's anti-magnetic, it's shock resistant, and superlative chronometer certified. You can take it from the boat to the boardroom without missing a second. Collectors know that the 37mm isn't just a quote-unquote smaller Yachtmaster, it's the sleeper hit of the lineup. Understated, rare in the wild, and increasingly appreciated by those who want their luxury a little less obvious. Whether you've got a smaller wrist, or you just prefer elegance with a stealth wealth edge, the 268622 hits that sweet spot. Alright, you've seen everyday icons, low-key flexes, and even a few future collector's picks. So now it's your turn. Drop your wrist size and budget in the comments. I will reply with 2 Rolexes that actually fit your wrist and your lifestyle. And if you want to see how these stack up against discontinued gems, grails under 15K, or Rolex models that are not worth buying anymore, hit that bell because those videos are next.